So today I'll be talking about extractions in orthodontics. So extractions are one of the methods of gaining space for alignment of teeth, for decrowding of the jaws, and for correcting the malocclusions. It is one of the painless methods of removal of teeth from its socket, also called as extractions. So when do we extract and why do we need to extract? So one of the reasons that we need to extract teeth is if there is a discrepancy in the arch length and tooth size. So if the tooth size is too large as compared to the jaw, then we will need to reduce the number of teeth. So in that situation, we need to extract some of the teeth. So the arch length and jaw size is genetically determined. Another reason is if there is a difference in the sagittal interarch relationship. In case of a class 1 malocclusion or a class 2 malocclusion, we will need to extract some teeth to correct the sagittal malocclusion. Abnormal size and form of teeth, if there is a malformed single tooth, or if there is a dilaceration or another like a supernumerary tooth, then we would need to remove that to align the arch. In case of severe skeletal jaw relationships, like in case of a severe class 3 or a severe class 2 malocclusion, we would need to go for surgery of the jaws, but along with surgery we would first need to go for extractions to set the jaw in order to perform the orthognathic surgery. Now, which teeth do we choose for extraction for correction of malocclusion? The various factors determine the choice of teeth. One of them is direction in the amount of jaw growth, discrepancy between the size of the arches and the basal arches, the soundness of teeth, the position of teeth, the facial profile, what is the age of the patient, and how much is the skeletal prognathism or retrognathism. So, in case we need to remove teeth for crowding, that is, the jaw size is small and the number of teeth are more. First of all, the choice would be to go for teeth which are fractured or hypoplastic, grossly carious, which are already root canal treated or decayed. Again, the second thing that we look for is the position of the crowding. If it is an anterior crowded, like in the lower anterior arch, or the upper arch is crowded in the anterior region, then we would go for a tooth which is near the crowding. That is, we would go for the first premolar extraction. So normally first premolars are the tooth of choice for extractions in orthodontic management of malocclusions, because they are very close to the anterior crowding and the posterior region. Position of the teeth, again closest to the site of crowding, and grossly malpositioned teeth which cannot be brought into the arch will be the choice for extraction. Now there are different extraction procedures or names of extractions. One is balancing extractions. Balancing extractions, what are balancing extractions? Balancing extractions are those when we remove one tooth of the arch on one side and opposing tooth, same tooth on the other side of the arch to balance the midline, so that to balance the symmetry of the jaw. That is called as balancing extractions. Then we have compensating extractions. Compensating extractions are when we extract in one arch, in the upper arch. To compensate for that, we need to extract in the lower arch, again to maintain the buccal occlusion or symmetry of the buccal occlusion. Then we have phased extractions. Phased extractions are you would extract first in one arch or maybe one tooth, one side, and then after a few months go for other side, just to check the occlusion on one side first. The third is enforced extractions. Enforced extractions would be in case the tooth is really severely decayed or periodontally compromised. In that case, those teeth are bound to be extracted. Then there is serial extraction. Serial extraction was the concept developed by Clegrin and Nance. In this situation, we extract, this is mostly when there is mild crowding, we extract some deciduous and permanent teeth in order to relieve the crowding before the full permanent dentition is in the arch. So usually the sequence is CD4, that is deciduous canine, deciduous first molar and first premolar. Then we have Wilkinson's extractions. So Wilkinson's extractions are basically extraction of the all first permanent molars, which Wilkinson had recommended between the age of 8.5 to 9 years. So the basis of this is that because the first molars are highly susceptible to caries, he advocated removal of first molars. Other benefits were that the third molars, once the third molars are out in the arch, they would not get impacted, and it would also help in reduction of crowding. But this is not followed because there were a lot of drawbacks seen with Wilkinson extraction. So one of them was that most of the space was just left behind with teeth tipping into that space, and the crowding was not getting relieved, and second premolar and the second molar would get tipped into the arch. Then we have okay, so what teeth, when do we extract which teeth? So first is the maxillary incisors, very rarely extracted, only in certain situations, like when there is a single incisor which is severely impacted and cannot be brought into the arch, it is totally blocked out, completely blocked out, and the other teeth are well aligned, so then you just remove that. If one side lateral incisor is missing and the other teeth are all okay, so if we remove another side, the symmetry of the midline will be maintained. If one of them is grossly carious, then, and we cannot save it, then we remove that. Or if there is a tooth which is dilacerated and cannot be moved. So mandibular incisors are usually extracted if it is one single tooth which is periodontally compromised or blocked out, like in this situation, if one tooth is blocked out and the rest can be aligned. Okay, or if there is a severe lower arch flaring of the incisors. Canines are again very rarely extracted. They are in fact contraindicated unless they are severely impacted or blocked out and the rest of the teeth are very well aligned. In case of deciduous canines, if one is exfoliated early, the other deciduous canine should be extracted to maintain the symmetry of the arch. Now first premolars are the teeth which are most commonly extracted for orthodontic treatment. Firstly, because they are in the center of the arch, they are close to the anterior malocclusion and the posterior malocclusion. So because it is near to the site of crowding, all the teeth get aligned. Secondly, these three teeth at the back, they form a good anchorage segment. So the anchorage provided by the second premolar, first molar and second molar is really good to retract the anterior teeth. Then comes the second premolar. So in case of extraction of second premolars, the anchorage unit becomes a little weak. So mostly when there is very mild crowding and we do not want the facial profile of the patient to change, we extract fives and use it mildly for retraction and correction of crowding and mostly for loss of anchorage. Or in case of second premolar is grossly decayed or severely out of the arch, then we would go for second premolar extraction. Now coming to the first molar is again very rarely extracted. It is usually extracted only if it is grossly decayed and cannot be saved. In case of open bite situations, we can go for an extraction of first molar again if it is decayed, because as you go further back in the arch and extract, it helps in closing of the bite. So in case of open bite, it helps in closing of the bite. Second molars are extracted only in rare situations. In case the third molars are erupting correct and straight, upright or less than 30-degree inclination, they would prevent the third molar impaction. If the 5 is getting impacted because of early migration of 6 and 7, then extracting 7 and distalizing first molar and bringing the premolar into the arch or into distalize the first molar. Third molars are again not extracted for the purpose of orthodontics, but may be only extracted if they are impacted, malformed, carious, or we need to distalize the whole segment up till the second molar. So we extract the third molars and take the full arch back. So to conclude, extractions are basically done to gain space into the arch or to correct the sagittal interarch relationships, and they are the choice of space gaining method for orthodontists in case of space requirement of more than 5 millimeters. So let's look at one case where we have gone for extraction to correct the malocclusion and gain some space. This young lady, she came to us for crowding. You see her canines are out of the arch, they are completely highly placed and blocked out. Her profile is also convex. So in this situation, we need to get the canines into the arch and align her teeth. So this was the intraoral pictures. You see the molar occlusion is class 1. We have a stable posterior occlusion, just that the canines are out of the arch. So the easiest way to correct this malocclusion is remove the first premolars and bring the canines. So why we will not extract canines in this situation is because canines support the corners of the lip and give a shape to the face. So canines are mostly extracted in case of no possibility of aligning them, especially in case if they are severely impacted. So in such situation, we would prefer to go for an extraction of upper premolars, first premolars, and bring the canines into the arch. This was the situation intraorally. Lower arch is crowded and the upper canines are out. If we had extracted the canines and aligned this, we would have lost the lip support of which the canine gives. So then we went for extraction of all the premolars. This was a mid-treatment picture with partial extraction. Now you can see that all the canines are into the arch in about 8 to 9 months time. Molars are still in class 1. So this was the intraoral pictures. So the anchorage which we have taken from the molar region is by a transpalatal arch in the uppers and a lingual arch in the lower. So this will hold the molars and provide anchorage for retraction and alignment of the lower arch. You can also see the lower arch is quite well aligned here. So this was the post treatment picture. You can see that how her smile has changed, with canines giving a nice shape and nice a good smile arc. The profile is well maintained. So these are the pre and post pictures. You can see that the posterior occlusion is also very well maintained here. So this was one such situation where extractions are needed in orthodontics to help align the jaws and provide a stable occlusion to be able to function, and also aesthetics to improve a person's smile. Thank you.